So, if you've ever wanted to watch something that was a mix between The Craft, Charmed, and The Covenant, you know that movie from 2006 that was so bad that it was low key good? Then have I got a show for you in today's video. Welcome to Pilot Season, the series where I watch the pilot episodes of shows that I've either never seen before or I haven't seen in a very long time. And then I give you my unfiltered, unbiased, and low key, probably unwanted opinion on whether it's good or not. And today, for our very first installment, we're going to be discussing The Secret Circle, a show about witches, love, and things written in the stars. So, we're going to discuss the episode a little. I'm going to give you my thoughts, and then I'm going to let you know whether I would continue watching the series based on the pilot. So before we get into it today, just remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel because it helps me out a lot, and share the video with a friend that you think may like this, because I have been told 1,000 times to watch The Secret Circle and I just never did. So if you know somebody that you want to watch this show, send them this. So if you're not familiar with me, I make a lot of content about Charmed and Buffy, Once Upon a Time, shows like that. Pretty much the common thread is magic. And because of that, people send me recommendations of shows to ask if I've ever watched them, like The Vampire Diaries, stuff like that. But one show that always consistently comes up is The Secret Circle. And I remember in 2011 when the show came out, and I was about 20 years old, and I remember thinking that I wanted to watch it, but I felt like it was going to be a little too teeny bopper for me. Because it was a CW show, and sometimes a CW can be a little. And after watching this pilot, I could kick myself in the past for not watching this sooner, because this first episode was so good. Like, literally from the beginning to the end, I was invested. I wanted to know what was going to happen next. I was so just taken over by what these characters were doing. I was like, wait a minute. And if you'd like to watch the episode along with me, you can head over to my Patreon, where I uploaded the recording of me watching the show for the first time, and you get to see my real reactions in the moment. So in this episode, we're introduced to the main character, Cassie. She has just lost her mama in this horrible fire, and we as the audience know that her mama was killed, but Cassie doesn't know what started the fire. So Cassie goes to live with her grandmother and starts school the next day. Like, literally, she gets in town and then starts school the next day, which that already right there had my nerves bad, because I was like, girl, give her a couple of days, my God. But when she gets to school, she meets some of the kids, and we learn that a few of them are part of this circle and they can do magic together, and she's supposed to come in and complete that circle. Now, as you can imagine, she's very hesitant to this, and they have to do a spell binding them all together because that's the only way that they can control the magic. And we watch her through the episode come to the realization that magic is real and that she has it inside of her. We also get a chance to learn about some of the other members of the circle. Adam, another member of the circle, his father was destined to be with Cassie's mama, but Cassie's mama chose someone else over him. We also learned that Diana, another member of the circle, her father is the one who killed Cassie's mama. And then Faye, my favorite character, her mama's the principal of the school, and her and Diana's father are working together. And then we find out that they were part of the circle in the generation before. I'm telling you, this show gets so messy. Anyway, I'm gonna save it. So this first episode really focuses on setting up the storylines and showing us how all these characters are connected to each other. When I tell you that this episode was so good and messy, it was my kind of carrying on. I think that what I liked the most about this episode was the fact that it kept you engaged the whole time. Just when you might feel like you were starting to kind of drift off a little bit from one mystery, they introduce another one to you. So as we start to learn about magic, then we learn about Adam's daddy and Cassie's mama being meant to be. And then Cassie is laying in the room and she's looking up at the stars on the ceiling, and they start moving, and that freaks her out. The grandma knows about magic and what's going on, and she goes to Faye's mama to try to get some answers, but she acts like she has no idea what's going on. There's always something being set up and something to keep you in this show. And I'll be 100% honest and say that it's a story that really keeps me engaged, because the acting at certain points is a little wonky. I think Cassie does well enough, but let me tell you something about Phoebe Tonkin that plays Faye. You may recognize her from H2O or the originals or whatnot. In this particular show, though, I do not care if my baby cannot act, because she was cutting up. At one point in the episode, my girl literally sets the car on fire that Cassie is in so that she can force Cassie to put it out. She's deranged, and I low-key live for it. I'm telling y'all the God's honest truth that if you love mess, not only are you gonna love this episode, but you're gonna love her. Because the way that she read Diana down at this one part, she didn't even have to say a whole lot. Diana thought she was gonna buck up to Faye and tell her what she was not gonna do and how she was gonna do stuff. Faye looked this girl in her face and said, "Do you want to try that again, girl?"
Do you want to try that again? Because I didn't quite buy it.
Please head over to the Patreon so that you can see my live reaction to that moment. Because, baby, when I tell you I was gagged, I was hollering so loud. Now, I will be 100% honest with y'all that as much as I love this story, it is kind of paint by numbers. You know, you've got your star-crossed lovers where Adam is dating Diana, but he has this really amazing chemistry with Cassie. You've got your bad girl who can't be tamed. You've got your fearless leader who just wants to take care of everything. And then you've got your two characters who, honest to God, I love them down. I do not remember their names because they had so little to do with the episode. But all that aside, I do think that the story is interesting enough to get into. And they do have some really fun characters, like I said, like Faye. Because Faye is, I swear to God, that's my girl. I would watch an entire scene pack of just her. That's how much I enjoyed her. But I think that once you get past the pettiness and the messiness, I think that there's really a good story underneath that's just waiting to be told. And like I keep saying, they set it up so well to where you can see those seeds being planted constantly. I also think that the magic is another thing in this show that's a really strong point because I like the fact that they have almost the will type of magic. You know, I will this to happen, so it shall. I can command the skies. They light the fire. Like, there's so much about the magic system that I love, and I cannot wait to start learning more about it. See how much further they can go with it, how they actually use it, and once you get more powerful and experience, what you can do. So between the magic system, the potential of the characters, and these amazing storylines, this show for me, this particular episode was definitely, I would say a 9 out of 10. I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10, but definitely a 9 out of 10. I would 100% watch this episode again and again and again. And I will absolutely be diving into the full series because, baby, I have got to see it. But that's what makes me mad about shows like this and getting invested in it is it only has one season. It got canceled after the one season. And I don't want to get too invested because I know that it's going to be something that I'm going to be really angry that we don't have more of. But at the same time, it gives me hope that maybe someone can be inspired by it and they can tell more stories that are like this one. Maybe not this particular one, but at least something that's inspired by it and it can continue to create new ideas and people who have magical notions and magical journeys in their head that they just need to put down on page. And that's one of my favorite parts about TV, and that's why I wanted to do this series, is because when you watch TV or movies or you read books, they can spark these new ideas that make you want to just like take action. Like even with this is something that I wanted to do for so long, but I didn't know how. But through the power of TV and the power of connection that it has, I'm here. I'm here talking to y'all. So, like I said, let me know in the comments when you do watch it because I want to know what y'all think about it. And if you've already watched it, let me know. And this is a show that I can 100% see myself making content out of. So if you want to be here when that content starts, then make sure you're subscribed to the channel. You're following me on TikTok and Instagram, and head on over to the Patreon, patreon.com/powerofg. And speaking of the Patreon, I want to take a minute and just thank my lovely, beautiful patrons and supporters over on Patreon. They've been with me throughout this entire journey, and they've watched me grow as a content creator. They've pushed me, they've inspired me, and they truly helped me to know what you want to see, what they want to see, and they help me to hold myself accountable of doing something that I actually enjoy. So if you or someone you know wants to join the Patreon, then head on over to patreon.com/powerofg. Well, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and head on out so I can go finish watching Secret Circle and I can tell my coven of hussies about it, because I know that we finna have us some good old fashioned kikis about it. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will see y'all around the way. And I'll see you in the next episode where we are gonna be discussing Lost Girl. And I know that that's gonna be a ride and a half. So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.
It's the power of G. What we doing, come and see. Making bold comments on movies and on TV. Everything magic, ironic, cause he the one. Go subscribe, cause it's easier to show you what's going on. It's the power of G.